everyone, it's James here from Dundee Science Centre once again, and today we're going to be making some salt crystal ornaments, okay? So we're going to be using table salt, we're going to be using pipe cleaners, and we're going to be using a jar with some hot water, okay? So the first thing you want to do is take your jar and take some warm water. It doesn't have to be boiling, but the warmer it is, the faster the salt will dissolve in it. So I'm going to add some hot water to the jar. There we go. Now this next part takes a lot of stirring, okay? So what you're going to want to do is take some salt, maybe a tablespoon. I'm going to use a little spatula here. Take some salt, pour it in, and then after you've done that, you're going to want to stir it, okay? So what you're trying to do is keep stirring until all the salt has dissolved. Now eventually, you will add enough salt so that no more will dissolve, okay? And you'll start to see some salt crystals floating about and maybe forming on the surface. And that's when you know that you've put in enough salt, okay? So, after you've added probably quite a lot of salt, you should start to see little bits of salt, little crystals of salt forming on the top of the water here, and you should see quite a lot of it floating and settling on the bottom as well. So what that means is that you've saturated the solution. So that means that even if you add more salt, it probably won't dissolve, it'll probably just sit at the bottom. So that's good, we've got enough salt now. So the next thing you want to do is make a little kind of Christmas decoration. So I've tried to make a little snowflake here. Kind of looks a bit like a spider, but it'll do. Now remember, if you've used very hot water, it's probably still going to be quite hot, so be careful with this part, but what you need to do is put your decoration into the salty water, into the jar, like that. You might want to use maybe a clothes peg or something like that to hold it out of the water. I'm just going to fold it over like this and we'll see how it goes. Now what you're going to have to do is leave this for a couple of days. So depending on the temperature, that kind of thing, it can take anywhere from kind of 2 days to a week to see all the crystals form. So leave this to one side. Check back in a couple of days and hopefully you should see some salt crystals forming on your decoration and it will look like a snowflake.